Hello everybody, this is Oro for the NBBL. This is our week 1 team builder against Goki's team. I believe I'm posting this on the same day actually because just some complications that happen in life, so they're all being posted on the same day. So you'd have seen both my team builder, my draft analysis, and my team builder at the same day, potentially, maybe even night. I don't actually know where I'm going to be when I'm going to be able to post this. But let's just kick right into it. So Goki's team is incredibly threatening, with Chen Pao, Scarlet, Mandibuzz, Terra Como-O, Cobalion, Araquanid, Terra Espeon, Smeargle, Toedscruel, Whimsicott, and Bastiodon. Obviously, my main Pokemon is shaymin-sky. That's the Uber that I ended up drafting for this league, and Chen Pao is a pretty good counter to that. Bulk-wise, not so much. Like, obviously, it can't be switching into Dazzling Gleam, Seed Flares, or anything like that. But it does have Ice Shard, so it can always revenge me, even if I'm Scarfed, even if I'm like clicking Agility or something that I think Shaymin gets. Aside from that, it is pretty good this game. But we'll get to that. To kick us off, the first Pokemon I built was actually my main win con for this game. It's both my lead and my win con, I think, because as a lead it performs incredibly well. It stops Araquanid, it stops Smeargle, it can stop Bastiodon if there's no intent to Terrasilize it, and that's basically it. I mean, it does super well into like everything. Cobalion cannot take it close combat, and it does get outsped normally, so I doubt he would stay in if he's expecting me to Terra and, you know, hit him. But yeah, it's just a generally good Pokemon as a lead, at least for like the standard leads. I don't think he will lead with any of those Pokemon. Hopefully he does, but if it doesn't, I do still have a very good sweeping set. I mean, Rock Blast Close Combat is all I need to sweep his entire team. There is not a single Pokemon that can switch into that except for like Terra Ghost Bastiodon. But every other Pokemon drops in one hit. I guess Mandibuzz can technically live a hit, but is it going to want to come in on a rock type? I don't think so. The speed is barely faster than a Choice Scarf Chen Pao after clicking Agility. The investment is basically trying to minimize the amount that I need to claim all those 2 KOs on most standard sets for all these Pokemon. And then the rest of the bulk is kind of pushed into defense solely so I can live priority attacks from like Chen Pao, Scarlet, you know, the Ice Shard, Shadow Sneaks, and Sucker Punches that might be coming my way. And then I kind of just threw the rest into HP and Special Defense to make it look nice. I actually think this Special Defense investment might be kind of meaningful, but I don't fully remember what it was. I think it might have been to live an attack from a Modest Surf Araquanid when I'm Terra fighting, something like that. Might be the case. Next we do have Terra Water Magnezone as well. I do not think I'll be able to Terrasilize this Pokemon, but I genuinely could, depending on how threatening Chen Pao ends up being. Volt Switch, Reflect, Flash Cannon, and Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is for perfect speed control. It's really what I needed from it. We are barely faster than, I think this is max speed Modest Araquanid, just because I don't want to be getting outsped by that under any circumstance. Volt Switch, Reflect, Flash Cannon, and Thunder Wave. Again, is Thunder Wave, I can click that on most Pokemon. Volt Switch is just good to pivot out of there if I don't see Toedscruel, which I do expect to see Toedscruel, I think, because of shaymin-sky mainly as like a one-time switch. I don't honestly know. Toedscruel is his only hazard removal, so I think that's really the main reason why I kind of expect to see it. But either way, Terra Water on that, or like, you know, I can easily just pivot out on that relatively easily. Reflect is because most of his team is physical attackers. His main special attackers are Como-O, Espeon, and Toedscruel, and Whimsicott, I suppose. But Toedscruel and Whimsicott are not normally offensive Pokemon. Como really needs to set up to be immediately threatening, and Espeon, while a threat, cannot really outspeed my main threats. And even then I have Aqua Jet on for Alligator, but again, we'll get to those. So I don't expect Espeon really, but I don't know, I just don't really expect Espeon. His Terras, by the way, are Terra Dragon, Steel Stellar on Como, Psychic Fairy and Electric on Espeon, and Steel Ghost and Water on Bastiodon. It's not free Terra. This is just a pretty standard set, to be completely honest. The Reflect is the only thing that's kind of out there, and again, it's because most of his team is physical. Speed is as it was. This is like slightly like optimized for offensive investment, and the rest was thrown into HP and defense. Shaymin-sky is the one I'm super excited about based off of this team. Seed Flare, Air Slash, Earth Power, and Dazzling Gleam are incredibly powerful into his entire team. He does not have a switch-in for this mon because his switch-ins either do not outspeed or die. Again, Chien-Pao is the only mon that immediately outspeeds Shaymin-sky, and it will die to any switched in attack, you know. So this is an incredibly good mon. I expect it to claim a kill basically every time it comes out. If not, at least absolutely cripple something for Lycanroc to pick it off later. For alligators, another cleaner mon in case Chien-Pao does become such an issue. I can potentially Aqua Jet it. I don't immediately am not immediately threatened by Sucker Punch. And I mean, that's really it. If it's not weakened to the point where Aqua Jet will knock it out, I can click Liquidation instead because I will live one of any attack from Chien-Pao. Liquidation and Ice Punch is really all I need for stab. I don't expect Araquanid to be still around when Feraligatr comes out. And then other than it, Ice Punch and Liquidation hits everything everything on the entire team neutrally, or even super effective depending on what it is, obviously. Swords Dance is just because I don't really need the speed from Dragon Dance. I don't expect to outspeed anything of importance with the Dragon Dance, and then the +1 at Swords Dance just means I can do extra chip to Chien-Pao, so it can't immediately come in and take me out, especially if it isn't carrying Sucker Punch. And the speed, I believe, is for max speed. I think it's I'm trying to outpace maybe max speed Swallow, something like that. 220. Oh, no. I'm trying to outpace things that are creeping Tyranitar at max speed. But that's the speed. Everything else is just thrown into HP. Mimikyu is Choice Scarf this time because I want to be able to click Play Rough onto Chien-Pao. Or trick something a Choice Scarf because that's detrimental for a lot of members on his team. The Destiny Bond is pretty simple. It's really just in case I don't have my Scarf, or I do have my Scarf and he doesn't expect it. I can click Destiny Bond and at least force him to play around it, which means I can potentially get a trick off or a play rough or whatever, what have you. And Shadow Sneak is just coverage for Ceruledge and Espeon so they don't get out of control with their Terras. If Espeon's Terra Psychic, I don't have a great switch to it other than Magnezone. Uxie still takes a Shadow Ball. So I can hit it really hard, and then I can pick off a +2 weak armor Ceruledge. And then finally we have a support Uxie with Smooth Rock, Sandstorm, Stealth Rock, U-Turn, and Thunder Wave. It's just all out like max Fizz Def. This is just meant to tank a hit, get Sandstorm up, get Stealth Rock up, pivot out, get something paralyzed. It's just perfect support for Lycanroc mainly. And that is going to be the team. And I will see you guys in the battle. Bye bye. See you there. Hello everybody, this is Oro for the NBBL. This is the battle part of it. If you can't tell, in the video itself, I'm going to tell you right now, unfortunately for the very beginning of this battle, I'm going to have to be doing post-com. I don't know what happened to my microphone, but it doesn't queue up until a few minutes into the video itself, so I'm going to be here for, trying to explain my moves and everything that I'm doing before I pop up, and I'll give you guys a heads up for when it's transitioning back over to in-game, you know what I mean, like while I'm talking over the game. So what I was debating here in the beginning was obviously my lead, and as I was building the team, what I noticed was that Lycanroc performed really well as a lead into most matchups. So in this case, Araquanid, Como-O, Ceruledge, Bastiodon, and Toedscruel mainly, Lycanroc does incredibly well into all of them. Especially because the threat of it being Terra Fighting with a Choice Band or something absolutely nukes absolutely everything. He doesn't have a safe switch into anything. So if it was like Chien-Pao and I was Terra Rock Choice Band, that thing drops. Same thing with Ceruledge if I'm Rock Blast. Close combat hits everything else. Araquanid can't switch into Rock Blast either. It can't take those. So Lycanroc was always going to be my lead here because it's incredibly threatening into his team. And I believe what he leads with himself is Toad Scroll. Let me see. Yeah, it's Toad Scroll. So he led Toad Scroll. I don't honestly know what he was expecting to see on lead here. If it was something like Magnezone or maybe Shaymin, he might have been able to do something, or at least tank a hit. So maybe that was his expectation. I believe what I do here, it's been a little bit, so please forgive me if I'm incorrect. I think I decided to go into Shaymin because my thought process was that Toad Scroll really doesn't have a great option to hit Shaymin on switch in. Giga Drain's 4 times resisted, Earth Power is immune, Spore I'm immune to, so really all he'd be able to do would be set hazards. And I'm more than okay with that because I do have, or I don't actually have an ability to switch, to remove those. But Seed Flare just hits so goddamn hard to Toad Scroll, so that's ends up what I'm gonna be doing. I know he goes into Bastiodon, yeah, which is more than okay with me on my end because obviously shaymin-sky with Earth Power absolutely nuke the thing. If it isn't sturdy, it probably just goes down. And then obviously he wants to switch out and more than likely to preserve its HP because Bastiodon being, you know, the more passive mon it is, wouldn't be able to take me out. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that in post, but hello and welcome back again. I don't know if y'all heard anything I just said because I more than likely would have added into that. But we just saw that, you know, Bastiodon switched back out into Lycanroc, which meant that it's more than likely going to be a Terramon here. I do think I can just click Earth Power maybe. What would he switch into with this? It would be Araquanid more than likely. Ceruledge could switch in, Komao. I mean, he doesn't really honestly have a great switch into this. Seed Flare into Earth Power will always kill, especially if he doesn't Terastallize. So I am just going to click Seed Flare here. I imagine he switches. Yep. What would he go out into? Mushword was the Toad Scroll again. First move of that game, big damage. Huge damage, actually. That looked very offensive. Very offensive, that is. It's -2 now, which means I can potentially just click Dazzling Gleam, I think. More than likely I can click Dazzling Gleam, because if he goes into Komao, it drops. If he goes into Chin-Pao, it takes too much damage. If he goes into Ceruledge, he can't tank an Earth Power super well afterwards. If he goes Araquanid, then... what do I click? Kind of want to click... Nah, we can click Dazzling Gleam. Yeah. He stays in, let Mushword go down. Huge for me. That's pretty huge, because that means hazards are here to stay. He does not have Mandibuzz for defog anymore. What would he go out into now? This Chin-Pao? Part of me honestly feels like it's okay for me to let Shaymin go down really early. I mean, sacking this mon is exactly what needs to happen. And he might feel like he's pressuring me out, which he definitely is. If he decides to get greedy and go for Swords Dance, would he ever do that? Let's go Mimikyu. I think Mimikyu is okay as a switch here, because obviously if he does get greedy and go for Swords Dance, then he can't kill me right away. And then we can always Aqua Jet later with Feraligatr. And I do like having Shaymin around still because it is just such a nuke button into his entire team. Let's see what he does. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna hope that he doesn't click Swords Dance. It purely would make sense for him to click Swords Dance because obviously he is pressuring me out with an Ice Shard or even Icicle Crash, Ice Spinner, anything. He is gonna go for Crunch. Okay. We'll see if he's Life Orbed, because if he isn't Life Orbed, then there's a chance that Magnezone... Okay, it's Life Orbed, which means I can definitely click Play Rough here, or I could even click Trick. And Trick would be just to remove that Life Orb. Let's click Destiny Bond. Yeah, that makes sense. Sebastian was the Bastiodon. Got it. This time I don't want to go out into Shaymin. It would be super great to go into Yuxi. Obviously we can get my Stealth Rocks up. He can too, but I would much rather like to get my own Stealth Rocks up. We know that Bastiodon is his physical switch in because he has swapped both into Lycanroc and Mimikyu now. You might have heard me say that earlier in post because obviously my mic was on for the beginning there, which was very frustrating. But that means I can potentially click Trick on Mimikyu in case he decides to do that again with Bastiodon. I mean, it would make sense for me to switch. I could see him going Terra Ghost or something if he's expecting Drain Punch or a Shadow Claw or whatever, and he wants to remove this right away with Metal. What would it be? Metal Burst. Mimikyu is no longer a switch in for Qianpao, but I do know that without a Swords Dance, Magnezone can tank hits relatively okay. He is switching right away. That's Water Balloon, which would be Raquanid. Interesting. Interesting. I really want to get Swords Dance up. Do I need... Ooh, this sucks. This is not great for me. I kind of want to just go hard into Lycanroc, but there is a chance that he just decides to immediately click Sticky Webs. I do know he's Life Orbed, right? So Lycanroc at +1 outspeeds what's his name? Qianpao. And if I can get rocks up real fast, that would be great for progress. I'm okay with Sticky Webs, I think. I'm not like thrilled about it, but because I know Qianpao isn't scarfed, I don't need anything special to outspeed this. I want to click Sandstorm here as well. Yeah, let's click Sandstorm because I imagine he could switch, but I don't think he would. Each life. Okay. Very okay. I could switch right into Magnezone, I think. Magnezone's looking relatively decent, especially because I know this is a physical attacker now. I can U-turn, go directly into Magnezone, who after, yeah, I won't be taking too much damage from this. I can set up my own Reflect, and then I can Volt Switch right out. The speed drop also potentially puts me below Araquanid. Oh, that's a lot of damage. What the heck? That's insane. What? I'm max Fist Def. What in the heck is that? At -1, I do outspeed most variants of Araquanid. That crazy damage. I think that might have been a max roll, actually. It very likely was. Let's click Reflect just to get it out the way. Okay, we are gonna still outspeed Araquanid, which is huge. Interesting. Now I know what he wants to do anyways. I think we Flash Cannon once and then click Volt Switch, because that should put it into range for Volt Switch to pick it off. And I think we also clicked T-Wave one time. But I'm not positive that Volt Switch would kill. How many turns of Sandstorm do I still have? I know I have a Smooth Rock. I have 3 more turns. I can click Volt Switch then. Removing the Water Balloon. And allowing me to go Lycanroc pretty easily here. Maybe I shouldn't go immediately into it. I could go the Croc. Could also go Shaymin, or I can even go Mimikyu. Let's go Mimikyu first. I did forget about the sticky webs a little bit there. Definitely being a little frustrating for my team now. Knife is the Scarlet, who I know I outspeed. And I think I can click, I might be able to click Trick on it then. Because if I can lock it into Swords Dance or something, that is ginormous for me. I obtained the Covert Cloak. He's gonna Wisp, so he's locked into Will-O-Wisp. I am going to click Destiny Bond here. I guess I can click Play Rough as well, because Genpao could come in. Could also switch, hard switch into something. Genpao on Mimikyu. If I was burned, I do know he's Life Orbed as well. So if I'm burned, I can click Destiny Bond one time. Because I imagine he's going to switch. He is going to go out into Sebastian, the Bastiodon. I want to remove its leftovers. I think I'd be more okay with it not having leftovers than I would with it having a Covert Cloak, because Shaymin still does incredible damage to this thing, especially if it's physically defensive. If it's physically defensive, Earth Power kills. Seed Flare's a 2-hit KO even without the nerfs. If it goes Terra Water, obviously I kill it. If it goes Terra Ghost, then Seed Flare still would be a 2-hit KO. So removing its Life Orb is huge. Or sorry, not Life Orb, but leftovers. What would it be taking from me? It's gonna Curse. Interesting. Is that a threat? For one, I think Lycanroc with Terra Fighting can still kill this. But obviously it could be Ghost, Terra Ghost. At +1, if it's physically defensive, it will live any attack. I could go out into Magnezone real fast to try and set up another Reflect, or I could go out into Uxie, paralyze it, and make it a little easier for me to deal with that way. I think we can go Shaymin, because I don't see a move that it can have to kill Shaymin. Even like a +1 rock slide, I doubt kind of kills it. I kind of doubt it. It doesn't, it looks like. So I'm gonna go Shaymin. Being able to nuke this thing with at least one attack would be huge. Obviously Earth Power would be a KO, but he might see that coming and thus go into, like, you know, what could he switch into though? Nothing really. He would Terrasilize, which is, I mean, we're baiting him to Terrasilize here at least. I could Earth Power because Chen Pao takes 57.1% from an Earth Power. And then for Alligator can potentially try and pick it off with an Aqua Jet, or definitely can actually. Earth Power sounds like a really good move here actually, because if it does Terrasilize, I still don't think it can kill me. Unless it's like, I mean, it has to have Rock Slide, so it has to have coverage for me. But if we can Earth Power and knock it down to like even Sturdy or something, like if he really wasn't hoping that he had to Terrasilize this. Okay, we're gonna knock it down to Sturdy. That's good. Oh, it's not even Sturdy. Or we didn't even knock it down to Sturdy, but that's really big. That might not kill. I didn't think so. What does he switch into? He kind of can't. Yeah, we're gonna click Earth Power again. Remove Sebastian, which is very huge for me. Super huge. We still have another attack coming, so if he goes Chen Pao, obviously we don't want to click Swords Dance. We will click Dazzling Gleam because we only have one attack anyways, and yeah. What would he go out into though? If he goes Como, I imagine he's going to click Terra Steel. Either way, I'm just going to click Earth Power on it, I think. Because if it isn't Terra Steel, we still do 40% to it. That is the Chen Pao. We are going to click Dazzling Gleam on this. I think that's fair for me to say. Because if he does click Swords Dance, that's really bad for us. We are going to let shaymin-sky go down. Did an incredible job for us. What could we go out into? Probably for Alligator can tank an attack. And Liquidation will always knock it out. We could even go Lycanroc, who doesn't tank an attack super well, but it would tank a crunch at least. Just not an Icicle Crash. Can't really go out into anything else. So it really is just for Alligator, who we will click Liquidation on, because he shouldn't have an attack that's capable of killing me, unless he wants to bait out like Icicle Crash flinches. But we are absolutely going to click either Liquidation or Aqua Jet. Not sure which one. I think Liquidation makes a lot more sense. Honestly, even Ice Punch could work. Ice Punch in case he switches directly into Como. Let's click Ice Punch, because Ice Punch and Aqua Jet should pick it off as well. And we are going to click Aqua Jet now. Removing Chen Pao is super good for the rest of my team. Unfortunately, Magnezone would be a little bit more of a sack now, and Yuxi could be a sack until everything that isn't like named Como. Do I have T-Wave on Yuxi? I do. Scaly Chicken is the Como. I would really like to go out into Yuxi, because I'm not sure if Como would be able to KO Yuxi. At +2, it definitely would. Just not with anything not named Boom Burst or Clanging Scales, I guess. This isn't looking great for me anymore. I think we click Liquidation just to get chip on this. If he does go Terra Steel or something on for Alligator, even at +1, he'll be taking far too much damage. He'll be taking 40. It's not a lot though. Really isn't. Let's go Mimikyu because it resists the Dragon type attacks, or it's immune to the Dragon type's attacks. Sorry. If he isn't claiming scales, then he shouldn't be able to KO me. I'm curious. He's gonna Terra. Okay. He wanted to remove for Alligator. I get it. He's probably not Terra Steel then. This burned Play Rough will be doing still like a tremendous amount of damage, especially if he doesn't Terrasilize. And I don't think he can kill me with anything except for like a Flash Cannon. So we'll just click Play Rough, see if he goes Terra Steel. Yeah, I think he might be going Terra Dragon because it does take less damage. But he would have Terra Steel last turn, I imagine. Oh, interesting. I could have clicked Destiny Bond there, and I probably should have. Interesting. Oh, he's faster as well. What? Oh, yeah. I forgot. This isn't looking great. Is he going to be... It's not. Okay. At +1, even a Flamethrower won't be able to kill Mimikyu. So we could click Destiny Bond here. We'll get to see if he's Flash Cannon. I know he's Aura Sphere. He is Flash Cannon, okay. Flash Cannon at +1, Terra Steel. Won't even KO Lycanroc. He would have to be Boom Burst. Or Clanging Scales, I guess. Uxie from +1 Flash Cannon will not be dropping either. So I think we can go Uxie and click Sandstorm here. We should be living at Clanging Scales from +1 as well. So we're gonna click Sandstorm and pray that we live an attack, which I'm pretty sure we will, unless he's some sort of offensive boosting item. And it would have to be a Dragon Scale as well, or a Dragon Fang, because a Metal Coat won't actually increase his damage high enough. Would Boom Burst be doing more damage than Clanging Scales? No, it will not. So yeah, he has to use Clanging Scales if he wants to like attempt to kill me, and I don't even think then, unless it's modest, he'll be able to. But I mean, he could be modest. He's gonna go for Flash Cannon as well, which should not be able to take me out. Whew. Very close though. That Sandstorm is gonna enable Lycanroc to come in with a Terra Fighting and immediately click CC on this, unless it's Vacuum Wave, I suppose. And then Ceruledge, we can pick it off as well. We will click U-Turn, or T-Wave, I guess would be better here. We'll click T-Wave. He's clicking Clanger Skulls, so. Hopefully we hit the T-Wave then. He's Citrus. Interesting. Please hit T-Wave, thank you. He is at +2, sure. +2 defense as well, but he is also paralyzed, so he should be at 269. That means that if Lycanroc were to come in the sand, which he is Sandstorm, even if he were to use Clanging Scale one more time, he wouldn't be able to have enough damage to kill me, and unless it's Vacuum Wave, which even then it doesn't look like it would be able to do anything to me. So we will go clicking U-turn for Chip, which he is going to click Flash Cannon, and then even a Scarfed Scarlet will hit 442. I am going to be -1, but in the sand, I would actually underspeed Scarlet, but we can go out to Lycanroc. We will have to click Terra Fighting to kill Como here, because he is +2. I believe it's only +2 in speed as well. Yes, so we can click Terra Fight CC. Vacuum Wave shouldn't be able to kill me if that's what he decides to go for. He would need to have a decent amount of investment to live this attack. And that is going to be a dead Como. Let's go. And I don't believe Scarlet would be able to pick off this game in any way, because it is 1 Scarfed, and 2, if it was Adamant Scarfed, it actually doesn't outspeed me, I don't think. In the sand, I barely outspeed it by 1 point. So if it's Adamant, then it does not outspeed me. Poltergeist is the only attack he'll have that can kill me, consistently anyways. So we will click Rock Blast. Worst case, ooh, this is close. This is very close. It depends, he has to click Shadow Sneak here if he wants to win, actually. So we will click Rock Blast, and we are gonna outspeed it by 1 point, because it was Adamant Scarfed. It's Flash, ooh, Flash Fire. And that is a dead Scarlet. Let's go. Very clean game. Very threatening game, because that Como is I hate I hate fighting against Como, but y'all know I love my Como. That was a threat, and especially after getting to +2, I'm surprised Yuxi was able to live that attack. But that was the game. Please hit like and subscribe and all that jazz. It would mean the world to me. Leave a comment down below what you would have done differently in the battle there, and how you felt, in general on the battle as well. I feel like it did pretty well here, and I'm super excited and very pleased with my result. Obviously, first week, first game, first win. I do think it was a 3-0 victory as well. Next week we do play against Dark Star, and I hope you guys all stick around and come back next week to watch that battle. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.